Hi, welcome back to the cabin. It's Ian from Off Grid with Penny Glen Cabin Life. The time is 5 to 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm still up bright and early. Today's video is going to be a bit different. I've got a story I'm going to tell you. Now, what it is, my mate Scott, if you go in the community section, you will see that I put a photo of me and Scott up the other day. He came to visit me. Well, he's come again tonight. And he was supposed to be coming on camera with me and telling a story about how we met. But to be honest with you, he got a bit nervous and he bottled it in the end and he won't come in front of the camera. But he's asked me to tell a story. So if those of you who don't know who Scott is, I'm going to put a picture up now. So now you know who Scott is, right? Now, me and Scott's been great buddies for many years, and this is a story about how we met. He wanted me to tell the story on his behalf. Many years ago, many years ago, late at night, I got a knock on my door. I opened the door and there's a bloke stood there, which was Scott. He says to me, I'm a courier, and I was working this area. It was dark at night, it was very late. And he said, look, can I borrow your mobile? I can't get a signal on my phone. I've broke down just at the side there and I need to ring the AA. So I said, yeah, no worries. So I passed him my phone. So he knocked on the cabin door again and he says, right, well, the AA is coming out, but I might have a snag, but I think I can blag it. I'll be all right. So I says, right, okay. So he went and sat in his car and it was late at night and it was winter and it was bitterly cold. So I thought, well, I'll take him a drink out. So I made him a cup of soup. This is a true story. I made him a cup of soup. So I went out, knocked on his window. It was one of these like Fiesta vans. Knocked on his window. I says, yeah, mate, I've made you a drink because it's cold. I said, why don't you come in the cabin with me? You'll be nice and warm in here. No, I'm all right. He's like that, Scott. No, I'm all right. Honestly, I'm all right. I don't need a drink. I'm okay. I've got a coat on me. I'll be fine. Right, and I'm thinking that's a bit strange. So I said, no, come on. And I pushed this drink onto him. So he had it, right? He took the drink off me. And as I walked away, what I didn't know is he poured the drink out the window, right? Now, the reason for that is his wife, Susie, I'm also good friends with, told me that Scott's always had this thing in his head that if you live in the middle of nowhere and someone breaks down outside your property, then if they need help, you're going to drug them and chop him up, right? As in I am. I'm going to drug him and chop him up, right? He's always had this thing in his head, right? So he poured the drink because he thought I drugged it. Seriously, he thought I drugged this drink, right? And he won't come in the cabin to keep warm because he thought if he comes in, I'll chop him up. Look, I know it's bizarre, but that's what he had in his head, right? So, given an hour and a half later, I could see the lights flashing, so I went out. And the AA was here and he was tinkering around with his engine. I was just stood right at the good side, good distance away watching. And then I saw Scott get in his van and you could see the blood drain from his face and he put his head on the wheel like that. He weren't so good at all. So the AA man come up to me, he says, your mate's had bad luck. I said, well, I don't actually know him. He says, oh, well, he said he's had bad luck. The timing belt's gone, his engine's knackered. And the thing is, his wife has economised with the AA because she didn't think he needed it. And he's only down for roadside, so I can't tow his van back to his property in Glasgow. And he don't know how he's going to get home, he's got nobody. And I looked at him and I said, well, I'll tell you what, do me a favour. I want you now to just drive off, finish the job. I'll ring the AA up in about half an hour. And I'll say that it's my vehicle that's broke down and I need it taken to Glasgow because we broke down on our way home. And then they'll send you back out then. He went, right. He said, well, have you got AA? Now, the thing is, right, jumping away from the story slightly, when I lived in Penistone, I told you that I used to run a training school for gun dogs. Well, I trained people for nothing in the main group, the big group. And what I did was, in exchange for that, they would take me to work in tests or field trials around the country where I needed to go. So what I did was, I got the AA full cover, which was like courtesy car, you name it, it had everything. I didn't actually have a vehicle, but I did it because the way I looked at it, if I broke down in somebody else's vehicle, no matter what, we would come home. because they have to take you anywhere in the country to bring you back. And I got courtesy car as well. I paid for the lot. Well, when I moved here, I still, for a long time, kept it, just in case anything were to happen. So I still had it this time. So I said, look, I says, you come back to AA Man and tow him back home and give him a courtesy car for 3 days, because you can have it for 3 days. And he went, do you know this lad? I went, no. He says, you're going to virtually guarantor him with a courtesy car for 3 days. He could smash that car up. I says, no. I said, if he's a courier, he seems a good lad to me, so I'm happy to take the risk. He said, well, I tell you what, he's landed on his feet, because I don't know one person who would ever do that for a complete stranger. I said, well, it's just the way I am. I'm like that. So he went over to his van, and he told Scott, and his face, you could see that relief come off his face. And Scott come over to me, shook my hand. He said, I don't know you, but what you've done for me is amazing. I says, oh, you're right, don't worry. He said, well, look, he said, I've got a chocolate Labrador bitch at home. When she comes in season, I'm going to bring her down here for stud with you. And I thought to myself, I'll be honest, I thought, well, that'll not happen. He's just being kind and saying that. I says, oh, well, thank you very much. Right? Now, Scott was a courier. I don't know which courier it was now. I can't remember for what company. And he used to deliver a lot in this area. So he obviously went, he got the courtesy car, he took it back after 3 days, and he got himself another van. So about 4 months later, I get a knock on my cabin door. It's Scott. I says, I know you. Where do I know you from? He said, I broke down outside. He said, my bitch is bang on in season. She's ready to be covered today. I went, all right, okay, no worries. So I got her covered. He had a litter and stuff like that. So, and then because he used to live in this area and I got to know him, every day would drive past not far from me. So he would go to the chippy when he got to Stranraer, and he'd come and in my cabin, and he'd have in Scotland they call them a chip roll, like a bread cake with chips in. So depending where you are in the country, they call them different things like chip bands, chip butties and things like that. In Scotland they call them a chip roll. So he would bring me a chip roll, and we'd have a chip roll and a coffee in the cabin. He'd do it nearly every day when he would come in. He'd spend an hour or two with me. We're really, really good mate. And I think a lot of Scott, I really do. And that's how I got to know him. And that's a true story. Now, to finish the story a bit further, is his wife Susie I get on well with. And she run me up one day, and it was winter time, and Scott apparently had skidded on the road slightly, and he nearly ended up in a ditch, but he didn't. So she run me up, she was crying out for him. She said, look, she said, I need to get Scott off the road. I'm terrified something's going to happen to him being a courier on these roads with the ice in winter. I went, right. So I thought about it that night. And I rung her up. I said, why doesn't Scott set his own dog walking business up? Because he wanted to get fitter, he wanted to get doing walking. He's great with dogs, he's really good with animals. And she said, oh, that sounds good. So now they have their own business doing dog walking. And they've done it for the last 3 or 4 years. And he's really, really happy. He's out in all weathers. He's super fit and healthy now. And his dog walking business in Glasgow is Auchenshuckle Pet Services, that's what it's called. And now they have their own Labrador kennel as well, which is Auchenshaw Labradors. Now there's a website for both of them. So I might put it in the description, the links to the website if you want to have a look at that. So that's how I ended up knowing Scott, and I've known him, but like because of the lockdown, he keeps saying, oh, I'm going to come down and see you, I'll wear a mask and all that. And I'll be honest, I've been very, very scared. You know I have with this lockdown. And I'm trying to bring myself out of that now. So he came the other day and he come in and I felt a lot better than I met him. And he's come tonight and we've had, I wanted to have a beer with him, but obviously I knew he was driving so he couldn't. So we've had a mug of coffee. So there's a picture here with him, with us both with a mug of coffee. I'll put that in the video now. So that's me and our Scott, and that's the story in full. So you know all about me and Scott now. You know how we know each other. And before I go now, if you could put the thumbs up in the video, and if you could press subscribe, it really will help. I'm trying to get the subscribers, so please do that for me. And if you ring the bell, you'll be able to get all the notifications when my videos come up. and I want everyone to stay safe, stay well, and remember, don't ever forget, Dinky Doo. Stay safe, stay well. I'll see you next time down at the cabin.